Hello, Internet. This is the JWCP Game Activity Podcast, a podcast hosted by Jonathan Peters and Wyatt Conrad to cover the vast topics of video games. I'm your host, Jonathan Peters.
I'm your co-host, Wyatt Conrad.
And this is the JWCP Game Activity Podcast. We have a special guest star this week. He's known by few as Opus. I know him by Mike more personally, or Opus. A good friend of mine online. I like to introduce you to him. Mike, can you say hi to us?
Hi.
I thought he wasn't going to respond.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to say
There's like a 1 second delay, I think.
Yeah,
It's small. This was a hectic thing to get going. This is
That's what she said.
this is like
that's what I was going to say.
oh man, it take like 3 tries to get this podcast going.
3?
Yeah, isn't this the third?
Like 7th, dog.
7th. It's 7th.
I don't know.
It's the 7th. All right.
It's
well,
all right.
Speaking of 7, this is the 7th podcast.
Hey.
That's pretty cool. We've been doing this for almost 2 months now.
Have we? Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
I know. It's awesome, isn't
We
it?
start back in like November. Like early December.
Yeah, early December,
We
late
started
November.
recording in November, though, didn't we?
No, late December.
Did we?
Or early December.
Yeah, I was like, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mike, we had you on podcast 5, I think, when we did Retro Week, wasn't it, Wyatt? Or do you remember?
Yeah, we talked about that one trail game and
Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail, and we talked about Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. We talked about a
stuff
lot
like
of
that.
games.
Right.
It was a good time. I'm glad we can have you back on, Mike. Thanks for coming back to us. And dealing with 2 high schoolers screaming at the top of our lungs for half an hour.
We're just screaming about games and how we feel about them. And very emotional about it.
Yeah. But besides that, we're here to talk about a few games. We're here to talk about Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto 5, Firewatch, and Subnautica. Opus, what game would you like to start to talk about?
Let's talk about Subnautica.
All right, yeah.
Good
Actually,
choice for the first one.
I played Subnautica. I haven't played the whole thing, though. I mean, I went in creative and I played it all. What's your experience with it, man?
Yeah, what's your experience with Subnautica?
So I loved Subnautica. I think that it was one of the best games of the last 5-10 years, actually. And I'll tell you why I like Subnautica so much. It combines a lot of different elements. I mean, it's both building and adventure.
Right.
I forgot you can see us.
Yeah? What did you do?
Yeah.
Deep throated the water bottle or the pop bottle.
You forgot the viewers can see us as well.
No,
You're gonna
I
keep
didn't
that
for-
in, you know.
I know.
You're going to keep that in. John earlier. I'm going to use this on my resume. Okay.
Okay.
Totally, man.
I like Subnautica.
So it reminds me a little bit of Fallout 4 in that there's a lot of base building stuff to go along with
Oh, yeah. I understand
the
that.
rest of the game.
It also reminds.
It also introduces the mechanics very well. Go ahead.
It also reminds
Yeah, I
me
told you
of.
that we could talk over each other.
Yeah, it was fine. We're all on separate channels. It also reminds me of No Man's Sky, the space game. There's a lot of base building in that too. There's a lot of exploration.
Bro, nobody can say it.
Mike, can you
Opus,
say
help
exit?
us out, bro.
Exploration.
Yeah.
Hey.
There we go. Exploration. Almost.
The Word Podcast.
This is a word podcast.
The Word Podcast.
There's a reason we choose to do games.
Actually,
instead.
I did. Okay, yeah, sorry for cutting you off, but I actually did play No Man's Sky. It was weird because back when I played it, it was before the developers actually did anything with it. So they just kind of left it where it was, and they ran away with the money, it seemed like. But it wasn't a bad game. It was just it was hard, you know? You had I just think the currency and how much it cost to get stuff was just too difficult for me, but I was also pretty young when I played it, and I wasn't too good at games back then. But I can definitely see the similarities in how the layout is, kind of. But I like Subnautica just because it's so, you know, it's got backstory of space, and it's also got backstory, you know, you're on a planet full of just it's a water planet pretty much with some islands on it. And there's all these creatures that you didn't know about. I like the peeper. I think the peeper's my favorite
Little
animal, man.
peeper.
Yeah, the peeper. Got a big eye.
Yeah.
I think taking a bite out of that.
It's like a grape, you know?
Yeah,
You
like a grape, but
you hear a
it's
very
like egg
soft
yolk.
crunch.
It's like egg. Yeah. It like explodes in your mouth.
That's disgusting.
That sounds good.
It
You don't like
does.
eggs?
No.
It's gonna
Eggs in the
taste like
water?
egg.
No.
Egg
They have
water.
dragon eggs
Egg
in there.
fish.
Well, they're not dragon eggs, but they have like, you
Yeah,
know.
dude. Well, kinda.
Well, they have eggs in there, not dragon eggs.
Leviathan.
Leviathan eggs, yeah. They have.
Leviathans, dude. The first time I got hit by one of those, I literally screamed. Like I was a little kid. I was like 12 maybe.
Yeah.
I think it was a little older. And I got hit by one of those. They took me. He'll if you're in the sea moth, I think it's what it's called. He'll take you and he'll grab you, and he'll like shake you around and get you out of it, and he'll eat you. It's kind of crazy. What? Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So I kind of want to hear Mike's experience with the game. Mike, what's your kind of I kind of asked you this already. So what's your favorite part about Subnautica? You know, there are a lot of aspects to Subnautica. What do you think? Why is it your favorite game? Let me ask you that.
Well, I don't think I said.
Well,
it was
no,
my
you didn't.
favorite.
You liked it a lot. My bad.
I do like it a lot. No, I'd probably the base building. I really enjoy that kind of thing, and I really like the mechanics. I like the fact that it doesn't inundate you early on, even though you have no idea what's going on when it first starts. It just slowly, one thing at a time. Like now you need to figure out how to do this. Now you got to do that. So it gives you things to do slowly, and it eases you in. But the atmosphere is good too. There's a lot of good things to say about Subnautica. I hope that they're working on that expansion, right? I hope that it turns out good. I forget what it's called. Frozen.
I think it's
something.
below zero or something
Well,
like that.
that is correct.
That's it. You
Yep.
got it. Yeah.
It's actually really neat. I mean, I think the expansion, I don't know. I listened to some YouTubers that play it, and they said that expansion wasn't as good as the first one. Like the first, Subnautica was just kind of a classic. But I really like how the layout of the whole, it's kind of like levels, kind of. Because when you
Talking your mic,
talking,
man.
I'm talking to my mic.
You're not talking into the mic. Sorry to
Just gonna
cut you
put
off.
the mic closer.
There you go.
But I just like how the land layout is, you know what I mean? Because I like, it starts you off in like a very shallow part of the ocean, and then you get deeper and deeper, and you got to upgrade your equipment. You got to, you go deeper, you can upgrade your equipment, you get oxygen more, you start getting like submarines, sea moss, all that stuff, and then you get into the lava zone, which is like, I think one of the deepest parts. Well, it is one of the deepest parts, and then I think below that the little dead part where it's like
the sea, the lost sea,
yeah, kind of. I think that's what it's called.
The Lost River.
the lost
Is that
river.
what it's called? Yeah, you find the
Yeah.
can't you find the ghost leviathan down there? I think you can.
Yeah, that's where
Sounds right.
that's where the ghost leviathan is.
Leviathan.
Leviathan. They also have those teleportation guys. They have the jellyfish that with the electricity that shoot at you. They can disable your sea moth in your mech suit as well.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You don't?
I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
It sends out like a sonic blast.
Yeah. So let's talk about Subnautica's storyline. There isn't too big of a storyline to go with it.
I think there is. I think it's a pretty big storyline.
Like on paper, there's
Oh,
not
well,
that
yeah,
much,
sure.
but there's more smaller details. What's the Aurora, right? That's the really big ship that everyone was on, right?
That's the one that
crashed.
That you exited in an escape pod and you crash landed
Yeah.
and you crashed
So
right next to it.
correct me if I'm wrong here when I'm telling the story. So there's an alien aspect to the game as well. There's an unknown alien species on the planet as well. It's underwater, above water. They're kind of everywhere. I don't know if you've ever seen like a prime example of the alien kind. You see the alien kind more on below zero because he's in your head.
Well, I mean, you see all the tech that they left behind and all the structures and stuff they
Yeah,
left
but
behind.
you never like physically see the aliens.
No, you don't see you see inscriptions and all the stuff they left behind and all
And
the
the
research they
tablets
did,
and
but
stuff.
You don't see all the you don't see the physical creature, no, because they were wiped out by the plague or virus that was going around, kind of.
Oh, that's right. I
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about the virus.
It actually gets first introduced to you by I think there's these little things that Mike, do you know what I'm talking about? The big floater things. They got the yellow things on them. They shoot out the orbs.
That doesn't ring a bell. I'm sorry.
I can't describe it very well, but like, I can't remember what they're called. I can't really remember what any of it's called. It's been quite a while since I played the game, but they actually get infected, and you can see a lot of the animals in the game. See how they get infected with this whole, I guess, virus they call it, and I think it's just really interesting because your main mission is to clear out the virus so you can go back home. And they actually just like not recently, but they added it. They didn't actually have a ending to the game before. They kind of did, but they didn't have it as well as it is now.
So back to the storyline a little bit. So you were on the Aurora, right? Okay, and you're flying through space, and the alien tech. There's a big old gun, right? It shoots you out. It doesn't. We know it does. Do we know if it shoots and hits them, or does it like miss and we crash? I'm pretty sure it hits us, or doesn't it?
Oh, the alien gun?
Yeah.
Well, let's let Mike talk about this because I feel like we're kind of brushing him off.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't remember the exact details of that either.
Okay, well I can tell it. So they have a big. I actually just watched like Jacksepticeye. He went through it. He did a nostalgia week and he went through the game again. So there's this big gun.
Wait a minute. Did you just say a nostalgia week?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacksepticeye did this.
For Subnautica?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a very
It's
popular.
not that old.
No, it was a very popular
But
thing on his channel. He was doing very popular games that were on his channel, and he was redoing them, and he was playing them over and over again.
Oh, like nostalgia for his
Right,
channel.
right.
Because the game came out like 2015, something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some backstory to the developers of the game.
No, 2018. Release date 2018.
Was it?
So
Was it really 2018?
Yeah, it's not that
Maybe
old.
the official release date,
Yeah, well,
but I know
it was in.
it was in. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
it was in early access.
Early access, right? But back to make sure we cover this gun thing. So they made this big gun on the They made this big gun, so it would shoot down.
The aliens made a big gun to defend the planet, right? To defend it from other creatures that may try to inhabit the planet. So they came in, or we were flying by. I don't think we were necessarily trying to go to this planet that we landed, or we crash landed on.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, we were flying by. I know that for sure. We got hit by the alien gun. We crashed. We escaped from the life pod, landed right next to the Aurora, which is like, imagine the waves of that would create, you know? Like,
yeah.
there'd be waves for miles of how big that thing is.
Well, yeah, but the entire planet's ocean, so I don't think it would really do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
It's just radioactive stuff. But the reason the gun's there is because it shoots down things that ships that try to enter the planet, because they don't want it to enter the planet, go there, and then bring the virus and spread it, because it killed off it killed off the aliens' species, the planet inhabitants, and it killed them off. So they want to make sure that it doesn't go. It's kind of brutal, but it's whatever. I mean, I guess they probably could have done different, like a force field or something. But I guess that's just what the solution was, and I think it really played out in the ending, because there was a rescue ship, not near the ending, but like when you find the first island, there's a rescue ship that goes after you and tries to get you. And then you literally see the gun in action. It sounds up a siren, and then you see the rescue ship, and they talk to you through communications, and it'll shoot down that rescue ship. And you can't say anything, which is kind of messed up. Like, you just stand there. He just stands there and watches.
You just watch your
doesn't say a
only
thing.
hope of escape. Like, well, not your only hope. Do you remember how they ended the game, Mike?
Well, the whole point of the game is to build the requisite parts to build your own escape craft, and then you launch yourself. I mean, you have to cure yourself of the virus first,
Right.
and then you launch your spacecraft and you leave the planet.
Yeah, but a sub story to this is you have to disable the big gun, the turret that shoots down the ships. I don't remember how you did that. I'm assuming we had to get tablets and go through it and deactivate it.
Well,
I don't remember that part too much.
Well, you actually end up, if you play the whole story throughout, there's a Leviathan. There's a Leviathan. I can't remember the name like right now, but what you do is you go and you help her out, and you will make her eggs hatch. So her eggs, hers herself, she was put in containment, and when the eggs hatch, her babies have an enzyme that can clear the virus, and it rids the entire world of the virus. And it's like, then you can leave, you can go home, because there's nothing, I think the gun gets deactivated that way or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's like the planet's on quarantine.
Right. Like us.
Yeah, like us. Man, that sucks. Too much stuff relates to 2020 now.
We should play it. We should do a stream.
We could play the game on the TV. You know, we just
Yeah. All right. Let's just go get your gaming PC real quick.
Yeah, we go home and get it. We've spent a lot of time talking about Subnautica. It is a very good game, but we have to get this podcast rolling. I personally want to talk about Minecraft. What do you guys think?
That sounds like a great idea.
I love Minecraft.
I love Minecraft. Too.
I love Minecraft.
We all love Minecraft.
Minecraft is a good game. So, who wants to talk about kind of like what?
Mike.
So,
Mike.
Yes.
Talk about Minecraft.
Talk about
Talk
Minecraft.
about Minecraft.
That's a very open-ended question.
oh,
Well,
here, how about this?
What can you say about Minecraft?
Why you can say about
Thank God
Minecraft?
Microsoft hasn't ruined it yet.
I think they actually do pretty good. They listen to the
I
community.
feel like they do good too. I definitely like the direction they're going with everything. I think Jeb is kind of. I think Jeb's head is out of the game a little bit. You know, based on Minecraft and what we're releasing currently, I think his head's out of the game and he's not doing too much work anymore. But to be fair and everything, I mean, he created this whole game. You know, like he's come up with almost every idea for it. Well, obviously not like he didn't come up with polar bears, you know, like he didn't invent polar bears, but he added them to the game because his wife wanted them in,
yeah, right.
you know. We talked about this on, what was it, episode 4, right?
3, I think.
No, it was 2 because we had a guest.
Right.
It was episode 2.
Because for first one we had Mr. Hill. Right?
James Scott Hill, that's right.
James Scott
I,
Hill.
I thought Notch wrote Minecraft.
I think it was a collaboration. I'm not really too sure about that, but I feel like
I don't think so.
was it not? Did
It was written by one guy. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Notch started it out, and then he get together with did he like I don't know, communicate with Jeb, and then they just started making the game. Is that what happened?
I don't know what point Jeb got involved, but yeah, Marcus Pearson, Notch, he wrote it.
I like that. Thank you for fact checking us. By the way, I heard your keyboard clicking in the background.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm glad you're fact checking us.
Well, you had me questioning myself because I was fairly confident that was the case, but you know.
Yeah, no, just correct him as much as you want. Like,
Yeah, correct me as much
honestly,
as you
just
want. You do it.
Slap him
I
right
mean,
in
you
the
do it
face.
in the Discord. You know, we do it here too. It's
Just
fine.
bully him. That's all you
Yeah.
gotta do. No, but actually, Microsoft and I think Jeb as well. They've been trying to erase Notch pretty much from the Minecraft existence, because I guess he did
True.
he did some weird stuff, got in some trouble, and he
said some objectionable things.
right, and then they had to cut
which
ties with him.
nowadays you're simply not allowed to do. Yeah.
Right.
You have to be politically correct. You can't say the wrong things.
Yeah. They took out the Notch apple, which kind of sucked. I wish they would have just called it an enchanted gold apple instead of taking. Well, they didn't take it out of the game, but you can't make it anymore, which kind of sucks. You know.
Yeah, that made me mad.
It did.
I got so much gold, and then I was ready to make. I got a bunch of apples, bunch of gold. I had so many blocks of gold, I could make enchanted apples for days. And then I went to go make them, and I couldn't make them. You know how mad I was?
Bet you were pretty mad. So let's talk about the story. There's not like a story behind Minecraft, but for people who don't know, first of all, are you under a rock? Like,
How many times are you going to ask that? Are you under a rock? Not everybody that watches us is under a rock, okay? Maybe they don't want to play Minecraft. Like Dante. Dante doesn't like Minecraft.
Dante should like Minecraft. It's a great game.
He doesn't like it.
Well, he's
He
more of a
thinks it's
GTA
bad
guy
game.
too.
He's a car guy.
He's a car guy.
It is the best-selling game of all time.
That would be
So
Among
if
Us.
If you've played a video game at all, it's a good chance you've played Minecraft.
So it's actually number 2 now. Among Us whooped Minecraft out of nowhere.
Really? That's sad.
Right in November, or no, it was October, late October that happened.
Let's make Minecraft free to play.
Yeah. So what angers me about Minecraft is that so you have Bedrock Edition and then you have Java Edition. Personally, I like Bedrock a lot more. It's in a sense easier than Java because with Java for speedrunners. So to talk about speedrunning really quickly, with Java, right as spawn you have to go. I believe it's 500 blocks out for the nearest stronghold to spawn. Okay. in Bedrock Edition, and this is just an example, by the way. In Bedrock Edition, you could literally spawn on top of an end portal. You know,
It's a little broken though, don't you think?
it makes more sense. You know, like
It's not that hard to find it.
it's not, but like you need ender pearls. You need blaze
Eyes of
rods,
Ender.
eyes of ender. Well, yeah, you need to make eyes of ender to find it.
Right.
I like Bedrock a lot more. I wish in Bedrock you could choose snapshots and you could choose versions that you wanted to play like Java. But I feel like that'd make it a lot harder for people who wanted to play with each other. Like, you know, you're on snapshot 14WA, you know, and they're on like the official 1.16.2 release.
Yeah, you lost me. I don't know what you're talking about. You put like numbers with. Listen, if you put numbers with letters, you already lost me. That's why I'm not good at math.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is a gaming
Don't worry.
podcast.
This is not a math podcast. This is a gaming podcast.
I know.
You understand?
I find it fascinating that your biggest concern between Bedrock and Java is that it might affect speedrunners. And I don't mean this to sound all like old man shaking his fist at the sky, but if ever there were a game where speedrunning is silly, it's Minecraft. Like, Minecraft is not about finishing the game or killing the dragon. Like, it's absurd. It's just not the point of Minecraft. But then you could make the argument the point of Minecraft is whatever you want to make of it, right? Everyone can make their own point. You're whispering. I can still see you. I don't like this being able to see you.
I forgot you could see us too. I whispered that in his ear that he can see us. I can't do whatever I wanted to.
Oh.
Don't worry. We love you, Mike. You're our favorite guest.
Thanks.
We've had 2 guests.
Exactly,
Anyway.
man.
We had 3 guests.
Yeah, but he's, you know, we're talking, man. We're just chilling out. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. I don't want to be required to be all this. Like, I don't want to be an astronomer. You know what I mean? Astronomer? Yeah, same thing.
What do you think of
Whatever.
gold pickaxes? Tell me what you think about gold pickaxes.
What's the use, man? What? Why? Why
Listen.
does gold? Why do gold weapons exist?
Listen, butter.
Butter.
Listen.
Butter.
So I know this sounds really crazy, okay? In my Minecraft survival worlds, I choose gold over diamond pickaxes. Now hear me out.
What?
They don't do the same thing though, do they?
They mine faster, but they
No.
last a lot
don't.
less. Yes, they do. Look it up.
You can't. Yeah,
Diamond-
you
They
can't.
mine
You can't
faster
bring.
than
They mine faster than diamond pickaxes, but they break a heck of a lot easier and sooner.
I guess if you put durability on them, like once you.
I
get a-
always put on breaking 3 and mending on my gold pickaxes. I'm not sure about
Right.
netherite now. I still haven't got. I've only got the netherite helmet, to be honest.
You know how hard that has to be because you like have to literally go through the lava to get it.
I'm glad that. So talk about the netherite update. I'm glad that we finally have new armor and we do more with the end or the nether. Like before, I would only use the nether to travel. You know, I never did anything in the nether. Now they have their own type of wood. They have their own food source. Like you could live in the nether. I'm glad. I really like the nether now. I don't miss the old nether whatsoever. Mike, what do you think about the new update, the nether update? Do you like it?
No, I'm still stuck on the pickaxe mining speed.
Oh, are you
so,
really? Let's hear it. So you fact checked us.
If you're talking about oh, I gotta look it up. Yeah, so cobblestone, you're right. So for cobblestone, gold is faster than diamond. So you can mine all 7 pieces of cobblestone that you're gonna get from that gold pickaxe much faster. But if you look at iron ore, it takes 15 seconds to mine iron ore with a gold pickaxe, and it only takes 0.6 seconds with diamond.
Well,
So I really question the idea that, you know, it's going to be faster to mine with a golden pickaxe. I'm really stuck on this.
Yo,
I know there are.
My whole opinion of you has changed drastically.
I know there are. I know that's the case for a
Have you
lot.
played Minecraft before? Have you played the game?
No, I live under a rock. I'm under a rock. I am Patrick Starr. I'm pink. Wear shorts.
My mom never bought it for me.
I'm sorry. Well, so I always run gold and diamond pickaxes. I know that was the case. It's
Okay.
okay.
No,
before
that's fine.
Before I make myself look
You're a
bad, can we talk
disgrace.
about the netherite
Get out.
update? Can I talk about the
Yeah,
netherite
sure. Why
update?
not?
Let's talk about the. So, Mike, I want to know what you think about.
I like netherite.
Yeah. Do you miss
The nether update?
Yeah.
I do think it makes it more difficult to get around in the nether, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't like the what's the biome where it's got the big giant pillars mixed in with all the lava?
Oh, I'm not sure about nether
With
biomes.
Blackstone,
Blackstone.
basalt, the basalt deltas. Not a huge fan of that biome.
I don't know.
But-
The Nether nowadays honestly scares me because like if you're not like pretty overpowered, you really can't go there. I mean, you can. It's just it's easy to get lost, and then if you don't put like a whole trail, you're gonna get lost and then you're gonna die. It's not fun for me. And I just like the old Nether. It was a lot simpler and it was easier to find Nether fortresses, which is a pain to find nowadays.
Especially since you need blaze powder, and where else are you going to get it?
Exactly. Like you need it.
So
you're gonna need it eventually, even if you find an enchantment table or what is it, a brewing stand, and in a village, you're gonna need blaze powder to power it. So like, if it's gonna be that hard to find a fortress, come on, man.
Well, I like the
I agree with
update.
you.
I thought the Nether before was really useless. Like before, you could go in, find another temple, slay the blaze, get your rods, and then get out. And then why would you go back there? Why would you need to go back there? Like if you think about it, I've only ever used the Nether for travel to make my ice boat roads. Before, and that's another thing that angers me, that the Nether got reset. Like in my
Ice boat.
Yeah. So I always used it for ice boat roads, and I would travel thousands of blocks for farms. Now it's a challenge to travel through that. I like you said, you don't like it. I'm more of a fan of it because it makes it a lot harder. Like there are a lot of things. Like they have their own wood, they have their own food supply. I like it a lot. That it's just more in depth. If you realize Minecraft has gone back and like they've thought, what don't people use a lot, and then they come in and combined like everything, like for gold, for example. You never needed gold ever. Like what would you need gold for? Now if you want to make netherite armor, you need gold.
Really? Do you?
Yeah, to make the scrap,
Oh,
because
okay.
you have the netherite block. It's the ancient debris. Then you break it down and it gives you scraps. Then you need scraps and gold to make a netherite brick. I think it's not a brick.
Bar.
Or, thank you.
Bar.
Bar.
Bar of netherite.
Bar of netherite, yeah.
Ingot.
Yeah. So that's what I like about Minecraft, is it's going back and taking everything that wasn't used properly, and they're forcing players to use every aspect of Minecraft, and I think that's cool, and I personally like that a lot, because before you passed up lapis lazuli or lazuli. How do you say
Lazuli.
it? How do you say it, Mike?
Lapis lazuli.
Okay. A lot
Like
of
a
people
normal
say
person.
lapis lazuli.
No, if you say that, you just leave. You can go. So if a guest says that, we're ending it.
We gotta, yeah, really.
Gotta straighten them up, man.
Well, Steven Universe pronounces it lapis lazuli, so
Right.
If Steven Universe says it, then it has to be true,
it has to
Honestly,
be. Right?
that-
The whole show's about gems.
That show is that's just a great show.
I'm really happy
I really
you.
like that
Do
show.
you watch that show, or like?
So not that it's about video games, but I will briefly say that, yeah, I did watch Steven Universe, the entire show, which I loved. Although I was disappointed that the last season they kind of rushed the ending of it. And then I did not like the new version with him as a teenager.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because who likes teenagers?
that
I mean,
was-
really.
They
It
suck.
was kind of awkward, not gonna lie. Like that one episode where he changed from like an old man to a middle age to like to a teenager. Like that was all right, but then like they made it into an actual thing. That's when I stopped watching. Honestly, I like the ones where he was younger, like not super young when the first season, like when they got into like a little older seasons, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah. So are we guys? Do we want to be done talking about Minecraft and move on?
Yeah, we could. I mean, we talked about.
We've talked 15 minutes. What do you think, Mike? You want to?
That's fine. I do have hope for the caves and what is it? The caves and something.
Caves and
something.
Cliffs
Yeah.
update?
I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Goat. Just
Go.
goat.
So remember how I said that I'm glad Minecraft is forcing us to use every aspect of the game? This is going to make mining harder, and it's going to add a lot of interest to caves. I know people have wanted it forever and ever, and now we're finally getting it. That's what I love about the Microsoft, like when they bought it. Just now they're finally making everyone use every aspect of Minecraft, especially caves.
Yeah, they're just forcing people to use everything in the game.
That's a good idea.
I mean, it's kind of a good idea.
Well,
but then,
Subnautica
like,
kind of does that too, you know?
well, yeah, but Subnautica is a story game. Like, you can, you finish it. You can't really finish Minecraft.
Yeah, but, like,
I guess you can.
single
but-
player you can, but, like, when you get with friends, like Dream, Technoblade, Sapnap, all of those characters, that, they really make something else of the game, So that's
Right.
why I love Minecraft, too, because there's so many things you can do with it.
Are you familiar with Hytale?
I've never even heard of the name. I'm not too big on watching like Technoblade. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. Don't get me wrong.
No. It's a game they're working. So there's a server called Hypixel, and they have all kinds of different
I'm aware
like
of
Bed
Hypixels.
Wars and yeah. So the people that did Hypixel are working on their own procedurally generated block game that is similar to Minecraft, except they're adding better graphics and actual like quests and NPCs, and it looks amazing. It looks like just the perfect combination of the flexibility of Minecraft and a little more interesting things to do.
Wow, that's cool.
That sounds awesome.
So I would like to move on from Minecraft, not to cut anyone off. We've been talking about it for a few minutes now. So what game would we like to talk about next? I'm thinking Firewatch.
How long are we recording for? How long are we recording for?
I don't know. A
My
while.
mom said she was getting me, so.
All right,
Oh, well.
so let's talk about Opus. We talking about Firewatch next?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
All right. So I
have strong opinions about Firewatch.
So I haven't played the game personally. I'd like to say that now. I've watched many Let's Plays by Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and a few other YouTubers I can't remember. Like, I've watched the game a lot, so I'm fairly familiar with it. It's been a while, so my memory's probably a little rusty on the storyline of it, so and names as well. But
Well, I only played it once. You get a job working in like this forest, and correct me if I get anything wrong, Wyatt, but yeah, you have this job, and it's your job to watch for fires, and so you're in this tower, and you're there for like the rest of the summer, and then as you're there, a kind of a mystery unfolds, and you uncover clues, and you delve deeper into the mystery, and that's basically the game. It's very narrative in nature.
yeah, but it's actually not that simple, really. There's a bigger aspect to it. Remember, like I said, I'm not familiar with names, so I can't give names. Remember when we found that walkie-talkie on that trail, and then all of a sudden we got knocked out? Remember that?
Yes.
That was my favorite part of the game. That's when a simple game, a lovely, nice game, turns scary, and you're always watching your back now. It's eerie. That added a good aspect to it. Oh, Mike, I want to get your opinion on that. Do you think they should have turned Firewatch? It's not into a horror game, but do you think they should have made it scary? What do you think of that?
So I don't really know. So I actually didn't like Firewatch. I'm glad we're talking about it because I think it's a game worth talking about. But I've written exactly 2 reviews on Steam for video games, and I've played like 200. And Firewatch was one of them. The other one was West of Loathing. If you've ever heard of that game, I liked West of Loathing. I thought it was very clever. But I gave Firewatch a thumbs down, and I think it wasn't as interesting as everyone gave it credit for. There are a lot of people that put this philosophical meaning behind it that I just think wasn't warranted. So I don't know how you would save it. It was what it was, and I think it was, if it would have been like a $5, how much does it cost?
I think it was $35.
If it had been like a $2 game, because you get through it in like an hour and a half. I mean, it's a really short game. It's almost like a visual novel.
Well, no, it looks
So,
really
I
good
don't-
though.
On paper, I think the developers really put time and effort into it. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of backstory to it. You have the father and son. The son died of hiking. The father who knocked you out, he's been living in the caves. You have the dude, the character you play that lives in the fire tower. He has, is it a wife or a girlfriend that's mentally disabled?
Wife.
A wife. You have, is it Denise or the girl who you're talking to over
Delilah.
Delilah. You know, she's on the faraway tower.
It's not that far, really.
Wasn't it like a 5-hour hike to get there?
I don't think so. It was.
Well, they chopped it up a lot. Like, you know,
Well,
they black screened it, then brought you 2 different parts.
You couldn't go to it till the very end, and I don't know if we want to really spoil the game for anybody, but
Well,
there was you couldn't really go to it. It kind of led you away from it. I think the ending to the game was just not as desirable as many people really thought.
yeah, they dropped the ball on the ending.
Yeah,
Especially with, like, there are some, like, moral questions that you have to ask yourself, and I'm not going to bring them up, with, like, Delilah and the wife being mentally disabled and stuff. There's some moral questions you have to ask yourself when playing that game of, like, what your preferable outcome would be.
I don't know. Is early dementia a mental disability? I think it kind of is.
I
think it's
wasn't
more
it
of
where
a-
she couldn't walk?
No,
it was
she
simple.
had dementia.
Okay.
Early dementia, and he just took he met her at a bar. They were pretty close to each other, and they lived pretty good life.
Yeah,
They were
and
chilling
then she
out,
got
and then she got
dementia.
dementia. She got worse and worse. Moved back with her family in Austria or Australia, I can't remember. And it was very emotionally driven, I guess. You could understand that, someone like Delilah called him Hank, but what was his real name?
I don't. Opus. Do you remember his real name? Was it Hank?
Henry. It was Henry.
I don't.
It was Henry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you could really you couldn't really relate to Henry, but you can understand his story. But I think the story in itself was pretty good. Just the ending really just cut off all. It wasn't what the entire game led it up to be,
Yeah. Mike, I want to get your take on the cave exploration aspect of it, because we went into a cave one time. I don't remember, like, we got locked in there and we had to find a way out. I want to hear your take on, like, the cave side of it, because it's not like it's not an open world game, but they did give you a lot of stuff like you could explore. Like, you couldn't take your own path, but you could, like, wander off it for a second and explore that way.
Right. I don't know. The cave aspect there's not really a whole lot of cave. Like, there's a little
There's
bit.
one part of it where you have to get through. That's where you find the dead
There's a couple parts.
kid, the son.
Brian.
Brian.
Brian Goodwin.
You remember the name too? Awesome.
I just watched a playthrough like yesterday.
Nice. Mike, what do you think about the cave aspect of it? Well, actually, I want to know more so what you didn't like about the game.
So I just looked it up. It took me 4.3 hours to finish this game, and it costs $20. So I know that's a little bit cynical, but that's probably the number one thing I didn't like about this game. That is not $20 worth of entertainment. 4 hours, because I'm never going to play that game again. And there's movies that I'll rewatch over and over, let alone video games. You think about, for $20 you could get the original Dragon Age, which was amazing. And you want to talk about emotions, like Dragon Age is the only game I ever played where, like, I put my controller down because I couldn't decide what to do because I was so affected by the character's emotions. I didn't feel like that at all with Firewatch. It was a cute little game. It was a $2 game that cost $20. I think it's absurdly overrated. And I'm just being honest. I don't mean to be super negative about it, but
I don't know. I feel like it was kind of choice driven because you could choose what you wanted to say to Delilah when you were talking to her the entire time, and you actually had a dream that you were talking to your wife. I can't remember her name for the life of me, and you were talking to your wife. Delilah actually put you on the phone with her, like late at night. You woke up, and I guess you actually never talked to her. You were just talking to Delilah. You were like mumbling and stuff. It was like kind of a dream, like where
Yeah, and not to cut you off, you can continue. Microphones don't work like that. Like, I literally have one right here. I'm not gonna show it off and stuff, but like there's a PTT. It stands push to talk. You wouldn't have a Vox on your microphone when you're in the forest. Vox means voice activated. I don't remember what the X stands for. Voice activated something. Where like you talk into it and it goes off. Like this walkie-talkie needs to push to talk, but you can have Vox. I don't think that's very accurate. And when I watched that really took me away from the game of like, wait a minute, that's like almost everyone knows that there's a push to talk on a walkie-talkie. You know, like you could pick it up and just know you got to press a button.
I think they probably didn't it? Did they not do that?
No, it was just your talking. It was like you're on a phone call, not a walkie-talkie, which really took me away from the game. I know really small detail, but like for someone in my position and what I do, it really took me away from the game.
Right. Yeah. No, I understand that. Personal little picks at it.
It's the small details that make the game. You know what I mean? Like Grand Theft Auto 5, how they have backstories like with Michael and stuff. Subnautica, you have the backstory with the aliens. You know, backstories and smaller details really make a game up. And you know, so getting back to Mike. So biggest disappointment of the game besides the you know how much money it cost. Besides that,
It was just over too fast. It's not that it was expensive. It was just way too short. I mean, it's a visual novel. It's not a video game. That's my beef with it. And there's nothing wrong with visual novels. If you like that kind of stuff, that's great. Go read a book.
Yeah, I understand that.
Man.
I mean, Mike. So, how was it when you were in the climax of the game and they were, you went to the camp. You found out people were like tapping your walkie-talkie. People tapped into your walkie-talkie. So, like when they went to explore. And he found that like radio frequency thing, you know what I'm talking about? A little camp that was set up. I think it was set up by Ned or something.
Yes.
It was set up by Ned, I think.
Yeah.
are we talking about in
yeah.
the cave or like the
No,
fire?
it was outside.
Wasn't that the fire? Like the firemen's stuff, like their camp?
I don't think it was the firemen's stuff because they had nothing to do with it. It had all the chat. Well, when you got to the end of the game, you figured out Ned was the person who was tapping into all that stuff. So I don't think it was the firemen because why would they be tapping in and getting all your conversations?
I'm not sure. Like this is where my rusty part comes in to
Right.
play. So as you were saying, Wyatt, sorry to cut you off.
So like, did you feel any emotion during that? Did it
I did,
question
and
you?
I don't want to give you the impression that there's nothing positive about the game. It does lots of good things. It's clever. It's interesting. It was a good 4 hours. It was just only 4 hours.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, go on, Opus.
he's being stupid.
Yeah, it got really dark outside of the studios, and you can't see outside the
All
windows.
the lights are off.
I know, but
Dummy.
like
How long have we been recording?
about 45 minutes.
We're doing an hour.
We'll do whatever.
Oh no, I gotta go.
So
Wyatt seems disinterested.
Oh no, it's just my mom gets really so
Well, we don't want to upset Wyatt's mom.
yeah, it should be all right.
all right, so
I think.
let's wrap up Firewatch. Really, is it Firewatch?
Firewatch.
Yeah. So, to put in my 2 cents to the game, I liked the fact that we were in a fire tower. I liked the fact that we didn't have any guns. I liked the fact that we actually did one Firewatch thing, or we'll fire whatever you are. Are you a ranger in the game? You're a ranger.
Yeah,
right?
you're a ranger.
No, so you're a ranger. You have to tell those girls to stop partying.
They went missing actually. And
They-
you could have been a prime suspect, but they found them. They got locked up in a jail. They and it's like a small town because I guess they were vandalizing something or something.
Oh, I didn't know that part. This is like back to what I said. This is where the rusty part comes in.
Yeah, I watched a playthrough like literally like yesterday.
Well, I'm glad you did. So
Yeah,
you can-
I didn't think we were talking about this, so that's actually kind of coincidental.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
But-
I liked the fact that it was kind of a scary aspect to it. I really liked the relationship that Delilah and Hank, is it Henry?
Henry.
So
Well, she
I
called
like-
him Hank, but
I like that relationship. I wish that you got to meet,
I had
but this
that
is where
relationship.
like my moral questions came into like, well, would you leave your wife who has dementia? That's where the real moral questions come in, like because I think it was kind of obvious that Henry and Delilah had feelings for each other. I think that's more why she didn't go. The developers didn't make it so they saw each other, because they never officially met.
They definitely had a spark. I feel like if they wouldn't have found, I mean, I know this wouldn't have closed up the story. I mean, it wouldn't have. It kind of would have, it wouldn't have they wouldn't have found out what happened to the kid, Brian. And I feel like if they never found Brian, and like they never really, they didn't close it up, then yeah, Henry and Delilah, they would meet each other. But that's kind of off topic because like I just feel like they could have done a lot better with the ending.
Yeah, there were definitely some parts of the story that they didn't wrap up. Right.
They should make. I think they should make maybe another game. I wouldn't say a continuation.
I don't know about the series. Like they kind of ended it. Like I don't know what you could improve on.
I think they should make a whole nother game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a whole nother situation.
What about the art style? Let's talk about the graphics really quick. What do you think about the graphics? It was definitely a beautiful game.
It's amazing. Honestly, the art style, just like the way I saw it, I really liked it. Just it was the scenery,
the reds and the light pinkish reds and against a black background. Those are really appealing to the human eye. I think that's why the game did so well because it was such a beautiful game. Opus, what do you think about the art style or the graphics? What?
I had no issue with it. I wouldn't say I was as impressed as you guys were with it, but I thought it was fine.
I just really liked how it looked. I mean, honestly, it's just, you saw the fire, the June fire, the really big one. It was actually, that one was named
There were two fires that came together, right? That's
Right,
why they had to leave and evacuate.
There was a fire at the fire, when they went to that camp.
Yeah,
when,
that's where the fire
Henry
started.
went to the camp. Well, that's one of the fires. The June fire was already started. It was a controlled fire. And then those two fires met, and they, made a bigger fire, so it wasn't a controlled fire anymore. The June fire was actually named. It was named after Delilah's middle name because they was going to call it the Delilah fire, but then she was like, "No, I don't really like that."
Wasn't that Henry's idea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was you could choose it, I guess. I don't know.
That's right. That's really where the connection, the spark came in with Henry and Delilah. Overall, on out of a 10 scale, I would probably give it a 6. I'll give it a solid 6, maybe a 6.5. It's not quite a 7. What do you think, Wyatt?
I do like a 5.
A 5. And
Just
Mike,
'cause
let's get your 2
they
cents.
bombed
What would you rate the game out of 10?
That's hysterical. So after all that, you're going to give it a 5 out of 10?
I think. Well, I mean, if we're
And you're giving it a 6.5?
if we're going from art style, I'll give it an 8.
Well, I'll give it a strong I'll give it a strong on the graphics. The storyline was good. I'm taking points off for the end of how they ended it. I liked the fact that you could choose what to say to Delilah. A lot of that stuff. I liked the scary aspect to it too, and how there was someone in your tower, Ned. I believe it was in your tower, So that's where I'm coming in strong, but they lost points on how they ended it. Definitely.
So I had no problem with the ending at all. Yeah, I gave it 2.5 out of 4. So I don't know how you would convert that to a 10 scale. So
That'd be like
I'd probably about a 6.5 or a 7, just like you guys.
Yeah.
did.
So
Right.
I think
So
we can
that's
all
funny
agree.
after
I feel like it's like opening up a really good book with a bombed ending. Like you can't really save something from that. It could have been a lot better than it was. So I feel like if you play through the game and you get to that point, and then you're like, oh well, the ending was bad. Like the ending was bad. So then like it just kind of tarnishes your entire experience with the gameplay. So
Yeah.
it just wasn't as it could have as good as it could have been.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but do we want to talk about GTA 5?
We should cut off here. I really got to go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, this is a good place to stop.
All right.
Enough critiquing.
Yeah, enough critiquing. Well, Firewatch is a good game.
It's definitely a good game.
So to sum it up, some of the podcast up for those. So we talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about, obviously, Night Watch, or Firewatch. We talked about Subnautica, and we talked about Minecraft.
Right.
3 great games. Final question. Looking generation-wise, how do you think people are going to look at... do you think Firewatch would appeal to people who play Minecraft? Do you think that GTA 5... Or we didn't talk about GTA 5. Do you think all these games would appeal to the same person? Either of you.
I was waiting for Wyatt to answer.
Either of you. I'd rather hear Mike. I want to get the guest
you're
in
the
on
guest.
this. Sorry, bud.
I want to hear. I want to hear him too.
Yeah, let's.
Well, Well, I've played all three, so I guess they would appeal to the same people. It's hard not. Minecraft appeals to everybody. My mother, who's in her 70s, plays Minecraft.
Are you kidding me?
That's
awesome.
That's awesome.
You cannot, yeah, you can't possibly have broader appeal than Minecraft does. I don't think I could say the same thing about Firewatch. I think it's a much more specific. You'd have to be into that kind of thing to enjoy that. And I loved Subnautica. I can't say enough positive about Subnautica. So if you don't like Subnautica, you're wrong.
I love Subnautica as well. I think we all do. I think we all really appreciate that game.
And by the way, this isn't biased at all. This is pure facts. Everything we say
Pure
on this
facts.
podcast
This
is facts.
Opinions,
Absolutely,
but okay.
absolutely.
The reason I love having guests on is because, like you and me, we kind of thought like the same thing about a lot of the games. We bring a guest on, like we brought Mr. Hill on, we bring Mike on. They both think differently about the games we think. Like I thought Firewatch for the most part was a great game. I didn't like the ending. Opus, Mike liked the ending. I don't remember what you said on the end. I'm sorry. Everyone has their own thoughts, and that's why I like, because I think we appeal to the mass, like our opinion can appeal to the mass majority of the people also.
Right. Adding guests just brings a new kind of fresh person that we can talk to.
Different generations,
Right.
different standpoints and different lifestyles. So everything is, a lot of things are different. But with that being said, this will have to wrap it up for the JWCP Game Activity Podcast. Unfortunately, it does have to end. The fun always has to end, unfortunately, just like every video game you play. Fun has to end at some point, unlike Firewatch, where that story will go on forever. My name is Jonathan Peters. I'm your host. Got your co-host over there, my best friend. Give me a fist bump, man.
Hey, man.
Love
I'm
doing
your
this
co-host,
podcast with
Wyatt
you.
Conrad.
And we have your guest star of this week, podcast number 7, Opus, Mike. Great guy.
Thanks for having me back.
No problem. We might have you back on. Who knows? All right. Goodbye, Internet.
Bye-bye. All right.
Yeah.
I got to go.
All right.
Thanks, Mike. Talk to you later.